A woodland can be broadly defined as land covered with trees. However, according to Yates and Hobbs, Australian woodlands are more specifically described as an ecosystem which contains widely spaced trees, where the crowns do not touch. Not to be confused with forests, woodlands have less trees distributed in a far more scattered fashion, allowing for a unique ecosystem. Australian woodlands are generally located within the temperate climates of the Australian east coast, where temperature can manipulate soil types. These woodlands are generally dominated by eucalyptus or wattle trees, and are home to fauna such as the superb parrot and the northern hairy-nosed wombat. A perfect example of an Australian woodland is the Cumberland Plain, which spans roughly 2,750 square kilometres over Sydney. The Cumberland Plain is a vast ecosystem that provides a habitat for countless numbers of Australian flora and fauna. Hence, the ecosystem is highly important for both ethical and social reasons. This can be most notably pinpointed to the fact that the plain is a key player in maintaining biodiversity. The maintenance of biodiversity is highly desirable, as without it, a healthy ecosystem cannot function. And it is these healthy ecosystems that clean our water, purify our air, maintain our soil, and regulate the climate. Woodlands are also vital for migration patterns of different fauna. Poor preservation of woodlands can lead to fragmentation and thus destroying the paths for these patterns of migration.
However, despite our knowledge of the potential ramifications in destroying such ecosystems, little to no effective intervention strategy has been put in place to prevent the detrimental effects of both invasion by exotic plants and increased nutrient loads due to fertilizer runoff from gardens and farmland. The problem with invasive plants is that they can overtake an ecosystem as they outcompete many native plants, ultimately negatively impacting on the flora of the ecosystem. This is essentially as a result of the influx of phosphate and nitrate ions with surrounding soils created by the runoff from urban areas surrounding the Cumberland Plain, such as Camden and Blacktown. These ions cater towards fast-growing invasive plants and hence result in an eventual decrease of biodiversity. The strategy that we propose is planting Australian natives that have been genetically engineered to flourish under high nutrient level soil around the plain to act as a nutrient filter, starving the invasive species within the plain.
This to be achieved by council members planting genetically modified seeds around the plain over several weeks. According to AG Biosafety, genetic engineering is a technique that physically removes the DNA from one organism and transfers the gene for one or a few traits into another. Genetic engineering is often used to modify food crops for increased production, but these techniques can be implemented to favour other qualities. The seeds of the native plant would be genetically modified, programmed to withstand and flourish in a highly nutrient soil. As these plants grow in numbers and size, they will develop into a filter-like structure. Having a natural filter surrounding the Cumberland Plain would be highly advantageous, as it would theoretically prevent huge influxes of nitrate and phosphate ions carried in runoff from entering the woodlands. These ions contribute immensely to the prolific nature of invasive plant species in Australian woodlands, and cutting their supply off would dramatically impair many invasive species' ability to dominate the ecosystem, thus allowing more biodiversity to reappear, and with that all the positive aspects associated with biodiversity. In summary, we believe that with the addition of these natural filters, native species can return to its original state and therefore allow Australia to be considered truly unique in its flora.